Good afternoon, Reds. How are you doing? Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the show. If you are new, please do consider hitting that sub button. It is free. I don't know why 60% of you are not subbed. And don't forget to smash that like button. This is your West Ham versus Manchester United preview at Old Trafford. Let's address the elephant in the room. First of all, keep it very brief. We lost 3-1 to Chelsea. We gave up a chance to play against a spineless group of shitheads in the final. It would have been an easy FA Cup win, an easy dub, an easy trophy against the team from London that has big club energy but hasn't done anything that warrants them as a big club ever since the Invincibles, you know. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, you know. So Leicester fans, Chelsea fans, get your banter in, because a week from now, it won't be fun when we leave rugby on the table. And to the Tottenham fans, I really don't know what to say about you guys. Norwich have 5 wins this season, and one of them was against you. It's hilarious that you even have the gall to banter us. I heard AFTV are looking for Newcastle since Claudia got fired after the racist incident. The particular Spurs fan who watches the show, I think you know who you are. You can go sign up, you know, because you're just as shameless as them. But yeah, now that that's out the way, West Ham versus Manchester United. What are your guys' thoughts on West Ham and their recent form at the moment? And how much of a difficult game this is going to be if you need any refreshing the 6 points from the bottom, basically from the bottom 3. So they're basically safe unless Villa pull a miracle and they lose both their next games. And I would say that them winning against Watford midweek is a good thing, because they should come into our game a bit more relaxed than they otherwise would have if they were fighting for their lives, you know. One of them things, it depends how you look at it. But what are you feeling about West Ham?
Dangerous. I'm not having a West Ham. I've watched West Ham ever since restart. Antonio is going to have a field day at this defense. David Moyes and West Ham are on form, and they're going to look at every team that's played United recently, and they're going to be like, you press this team, you go for this team. Antonio will be looking to make Maguire look like, I don't know, like how he has been looking. He's going to want to destroy our defense. And, you know, as for goalkeeping, I just don't know. But West Ham is going to be a hard game, and we have to grind it out. We have to get the result. These are 3 points that are required. They are definitely needed. It's not over, but it's time to clutch up, and it's time to switch on. And United better do that.
I'm so scared of West Ham. They're in 15th. I'm so scared. No, but I get you. I get you.
Look, we played crap against Chelsea, and it showed a lot of problems that we have. But for the remainder of the season, let's choose to be positive and just go forward. We still have a lot to play for. We can finish third. We're probably going to finish third. And West Ham, look, they've been playing well, but then they have been running over everyone, and they've never been one with consistency. I think the only player who's been consistent throughout every game is Antonio. But the rest of the team, I'm not really scared of. So I feel like the only way we lose or don't win this game is if we late to the Chelsea game affect us. But
okay, guys. So let's look at the evidence here. Let's look at the evidence, right? Since the return of lockdown, they lost 2-0 to Wolves. They lost 2-0 to Tottenham. Take it with a pinch of salt. They beat Chelsea 3-2 in the week that Chelsea were playing crap, and then they drew to Newcastle the very next game, 2-2. Okay, cool. And then they lost to Burnley 1-0. I'm so scared of Antonio and his high press and David Moyes' tactical abilities, because he clearly destroyed Burnley. Okay, and then they beat Norwich 4-0. This is when it starts to get good, by the way. They beat Norwich 4-0, and they beat Watford 3-1. I'm so scared because they beat Norwich, you know. Like, we could never aspire to beat Norwich, you know.
Beat the teams that we're supposed to beat. And against Chelsea were bad that day. So
yeah,
I'm really not scared of it.
I'm not scared
There's no
of West
stability
Ham.
in West Ham. They're trying to avoid relegation, but that's not really that hard with the players they have. So there's no stability.
Yeah, listen, mate. You can make your own mind up, and I respect West Ham, and I think it will be a difficult game because at the end of the day, if 6 out of Manchester United's 11 players don't play well, even in our strongest team, we'll probably find a way to bottle it. But then again, it is a team that's in 15th. Even on their day, they still lost to Tottenham 2-0. They still lost to Wolves 2-0. They lost to Arsenal 1-0 before lockdown. You know, they scored 2 against Liverpool in the 3-2 game that they lost, but then they lost to Man City 2-0. So it's a mixed bag of results with this team. They're very inconsistent. And all I would say about inconsistent teams is, and I'll keep saying this over and over again, there's no magic wand in football. You don't wave a magic wand and suddenly be up for a game. If you have shown evidence that when there is something to play for, you're up for it. And when there's nothing to play for, you're not up for it. Then I think that's more than enough evidence to say that, it's to predict certain things that happen in the future. For example, every time Manchester United are in a position to clutch up, what do people always say? Oh, we don't know, because every time we've been in this situation in the past, mental block, right? Well, what's so different about West Ham this time? They're 6 points from the bottom. Villa ain't gonna win their last 2 games, and if they do, it's a miracle. It's like nobody can put their hand up and say, I predicted that Villa would stay up. I predicted that Villa were gonna win their last 2 games and West Ham were gonna bottle it. Like, come on, dude. Like, so it's just one of them things. Like, what is gonna change from West Ham? They beat Watford. Okay.
West Ham will be up for it because it's always United. And small teams, when you play a big team, you're up for it. You get up for it.
Yeah, but Bournemouth were up for it, Johnny. Brighton were up for it, Johnny.
All I'm saying is
I
West Ham. I'm not saying that we must be scared of West Ham. What I am saying is, don't think they're just a pushover because they can.
Yeah. I never said they're a pushover, but I did say that they're only 2 wins since the return of lockdown against Norwich and Watford. Watford.
You're right, but I think the difference between West Ham and Southampton, I think with Southampton, there's a stability in the club in a lot of areas. In West Ham, yes, they're surviving right now, but I just don't think they're good enough. Really, I don't think they're as good as Southampton.
Because Southampton play a high press because that's the way they play. West Ham aren't just going to come to Old Trafford and have the best 90 minutes of their life unless Manchester United play badly, which is always possible. So I ain't saying we're going to run over them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, based on the evidence, this is a team that we shouldn't be anywhere near as concerned about as we were against Palace and Southampton. And by the way, we still beat Palace anyways.
If we lose, it's going to be our fault.
Yeah, like we can draw against West Ham and draw against Leicester and still make top 4. That's the luck we have right now. So hopefully it doesn't come to that. But Manchester United are in a really good place right now, and I'm not afraid of West Ham. I'm confident that we'll beat them. But
Just do us one.
How do West Ham even play, though? If you had to give a tactical assessment of how they play, like, would you say they're a team that presses high, a team that plays low block?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
A team that holds possession, a team that plays on the counter, or do they just change it for the team?
There's no consistency. One day they play like this, the other day they play like this. So I just don't think that with the quality of players they have, I just don't think they're good enough to beat a United that's playing well.
Yeah, and by the way, we're unbeaten in the Premier League since Bruno Fernandes came here, so we can't say we're 20 games unbeaten anymore or 19 games unbeaten anymore, but we can say we're unbeaten in the Premier League, so we still are in red hot form in comparison.
West Ham, they're very inconsistent with the way they play, but based on the evidence, I think West Ham will try to come out and give United game system high because over recent times, evidently a high press is all it takes to trouble United, rattle those United heads.
That's not always true, but anyways, we haven't lost in like 19 games in the Premier League, but okay.
It's been balanced really, because if you do the high press properly, based on past evidence, good. But if United finds a way to play through a high press, you're in trouble because they're going to smash you.
Yes, United are known for playing the counter-attack. So all these people who are saying, just play a high press against us, where have you been since January? Which team have you been watching? Tell me a game where we lost because of a high press. I'll wait. City at the Etihad, we beat them because they played a high press. Liverpool at Anfield, we drew to them.
I think she was referring to recent games.
Which game did we lose in? I'll wait.
We dropped a lot of points because we couldn't handle the high press.
Yeah, we dropped points to Southampton. Who else did we drop points to because of a high press? I'll wait.
It was just Southampton. And Palace, it was difficult, but we ended up winning.
It was just Southampton. So now we're getting somewhere in this discussion. Southampton was the only team that successfully played a high press. Yeah, and Chelsea, but that was in the FA Cup. And Chelsea are genuinely a decent side that are actually in the top 4. They're not 15th, fighting for their lives, So my point remains. In the last 19 games, I don't get where United fans are getting this pessimism of, just play a high press because Ollie's a PE teacher. Well, if he's a PE teacher, he's doing bloody well for 19 games, for 20 games and 1 loss. Like, he's doing bloody well. Like, I wish I had a PE teacher who managed Manchester United and was able to win 19 games on the trot, especially after a pandemic. I wish I had a PE teacher like that. I would have loved going to school if I had a PE teacher like that. I'm not scared of West Brom. If West Ham play a high press and try to play anywhere near the way Palace did, they're going to be vulnerable at the back, and they're not going to play a back five like Chelsea did, and they're not going to be defensively disciplined like Chelsea did. So, as far as I'm concerned, we've got nothing to be afraid about, because some people think Pogba's the best midfielder in the world. Well, okay then. The best midfielder in the world should have no problems against the side as 15th. Some people lube up Martial like he's the best thing since bloody George Best. Okay then, he shouldn't have a problem scoring against a defense that, let me just check here on the table, how many games they've actually lost.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
I can't find the table for some reason. Okay, I found the table. These guys have lost 19 games, guys. 19 games and 7 draws. So they've lost way more games than they've actually won, because they've only won 10. So clearly, a lot of their games come down to conceding goals. Even the game where they scored 2 against Liverpool, they still lost because they conceded 3. So defensively, they're not that good. Midfield battle, they're up against Pogba, Bruno and Matic. You telling me just because West Ham are up for it, they're going to outplay Pogba, Bruno and Matic? Get out of here. Lindelof, Maguire, I understand. We're probably going to concede against West Ham because of what's going on in that back three at the moment. And I'll accept that. United will concede an early goal, but we did against Bournemouth and we came back. We did against Southampton, we came back. We nearly did against Palace and we still, managed to close out that result. And there was another game as well, if I'm not mistaken, where we came back from behind. That was just it actually, never mind. But yeah, I don't know. So shall we get into the predicted SA?
Yeah, obviously I didn't make a new one because there was just literally 2 players probably. I doubt that that's Luke Shaw, so I doubt Luke Shaw will play, and then, well, they all probably play, but some would argue he doesn't deserve it.
I honestly, if you want my opinion on De Gea, and you can give your thoughts down in the comment down below, I honestly don't want to talk about De Gea, and the reason why I don't want to talk about De Gea is the same reason I didn't want to talk about De Gea last time it was brought up on this podcast. If Dean Henderson comes to Manchester United, that doesn't solve our problems. Mason Mount still gets that shot off if Dean Henderson is in goal. Yes, he probably does save it because he doesn't bottle it like De Gea. But ultimately, we didn't lose the FA Cup final because of De Gea. I mean, it's the semi-final because of De Gea. We lost the semi-final because we weren't good enough. We let too many crosses in. Alonso should have scored in the first 20 minutes off a header. Kurt Zuma should have scored if it wasn't for Eric Bailly putting his head in the way. Giroud should have scored a couple of times. Actually, there was a part where Giroud nearly scored, and Maguire, I don't know if it was Maguire or Lindelof, but Giroud just bottled the chance because they gave him a free pass. So my point is, there's bigger problems at Manchester United, and people going on De Gea like he's the biggest problem in our team, and it doesn't make sense to me. Like, we know what the situation is with De Gea, and I don't care to talk about him for an hour. Like, there's bigger problems. That's where I'm at with De Gea. Like, cool, we dropped De Gea, and then? Are we going to win the FA Cup now because we dropped De Gea?
I wouldn't mind. I understand, but I wouldn't mind if he did a good job for this game. I understand why Ole did it.
Yeah,
I'm not bothered though. We dropped De Gea. Okay, are we making top 4 now because we dropped De Gea?
One can
say
we're
winning the league next season because we dropped De Gea.
It depends where his mental state is, because we don't want him costing us points in these 2 games. So
I get that. But are you saying we dropped De Gea and we're instantly a better team? We dropped De Gea and we're making top 4 next season. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that at all.
We dropped De Gea and we would have won the FA Cup.
And where his mental state is.
Yes. So are you saying if we dropped De Gea, we would have won the FA Cup or we would have made the final? That's your stance as a Manchester United fan?
If De Gea had played better, it would have made our chances better because we wouldn't concede 2 ridiculous goals.
Okay. Once again, you're not answering my question. If we drop De Gea, do you think Manchester United is instantly better and we are making top 4 next season comfortably and we would have been in the FA Cup final? Yes or no?
I think if you drop De Gea now at the moment, we are better.
Thank you. Ureta? Or do you want to drop De Gea?
Not that straightforward. In this game, yes, I do.
No, but okay, thank you. That's all I was looking for.
Yeah, so you're saying at the moment.
Yes, that's all I'm looking for. Yes.
Maybe not for next season, but at the moment,
it's
for the end of the season.
Thank you. It's done. We don't that's what I'm saying. That's my point. We don't need to sit here and talk about De Gea when there's bigger problems in this team. Like, what is the point? What is the point of sitting here for half an hour and talking about De Gea when there's bigger problems, like Maguire? like Lindelof, like the fact that Aaron Wan-Bissaka, somebody on the show said Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the greatest right back of all time. I disagree because the greatest right back of all time knows how to stop a cross. What about Brandon Williams playing crap? What about the fact that Pogba, Bruno, and Matic all had below average games yesterday? What about the fact that Rashford was anonymous, a guy who's on 22 goals in all competitions? But we're going to spend the next half an hour talking about De Gea. Like they're going to do it on Sky Sports as well.
The problem, and if it can be changed, it must be changed.
I get that, but do you hear what I'm saying? I've heard what you're saying. I've respected your opinion. I've acknowledged it, but do you acknowledge what I'm saying?
I get you.
Disagree with?
I don't disagree with you.
That was all I'm saying. It sounded like you were disagreeing because you kept saying, yeah, but if a problem can be fixed, I get that. If you think De Gea should be dropped, it's great. Now what? Now what? You know? Like, people want to... There's a divisive culture in the United fan base where people want to turn players on the club or turn players against each other. You see it with everything. You know, like, let's not sign Sancho because he might bench Greenwood and he might stop Greenwood's development. You know, like, De Gea needs to get sacked and he needs to move on and we need to get Henderson. And it's like, cool, but like, there's bigger problems. Like, you're wasting all your energy talking about this guy. We see it with Pogba all the time. Pogba had a bad game. He's inconsistent. Oh, so you're saying United lost because of Pogba? Get out, bro. Like, get out. These agendas...
For the next game and the game against Leicester potentially. And we're talking about how those games are going to go. For me, De Gea is a relevant part because it's something that can be changed, and Pogba and them, they are part of the squad. We can't. That's a long-term issue. That's something we need to deal with long-term. So I feel it is very valid to talk about De Gea.
Okay. Well, let's talk about De Gea then for the next half an hour. What else do you want to talk about with regards to De Gea?
I didn't say talk about it for half an hour. I'm just saying it's very relevant.
I think that's obvious. I think that's
if I was
obvious.
like I said, if I was Oli, I'd definitely drop De Gea until at least at the end of the season.
I think that's so obvious. Nobody disagreed with you. That's so obvious. Like what is the point of the rant I've just gone on for the last 17 minutes? Like, again, if you think De Gea should be dropped, I respect your opinion. If you think De Gea should stay in the team, I respect your opinion. If you think De Gea should go to Marbella for a week and learn how to be a better goalkeeper, I respect your opinion. If you think Dean Henderson should come in and make him feel uncomfortable for his decision, make him feel uncomfortable and make him feel like he has to work for his part of the team.
It sounded like you were saying it's not worth talking.
I respect your opinion.
I misunderstood that. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll continue. If you think De Gea shouldn't play for Spain because Kepa is better, I respect your opinion. But what's the point? We've been saying the same thing about De Gea since the beginning of the season. What is the point? What is the point? Manchester United should never be losing games because of... And yes, against Chelsea, he was horrible. Against Chelsea, he could be one of the biggest reasons why we lost. But we cannot be sat here as Manchester United saying we did not make top four because we have a bad goalkeeper. What? Where have you been? So you're saying everything's down to De Gea. I agree with everybody who says De Gea should be out of the team, but it's another divisive and corrosive part of our fan base, because next week it will be Pogba. The week after that it will be Rashford. The week after that it will be somebody else's head on a stick, and it's really childish. It really is, because you just sound like Roy Keane and all those other bloody pundits who get things fed through their earpiece. Like these agendas against players. I mean, the agenda against Luke Shaw as well. Some people genuinely think we're bad this season because Luke Shaw needs to be replaced. And they don't care about Maguire. People like Said.
My personal view, I don't think it's a De Gea agenda. Because I like De Gea. I don't think it's a De Gea agenda.
You don't have an agenda. You specifically don't have an agenda. But I'm talking about the United fan base at large. Like, the United fan base, and I think everyone can agree with this, anyone who engages with the United community, for example, if you watch the United Stand or the Stretford Paddock channel or the Full-Time Devils, if you follow any Manchester United fan channel other than ours that is established and has a massive following, do you not think our fan base is a little bit divisive sometimes? Because there's always someone in the comment section going on about, ooh, I think this player is not good enough and that's why we lost, or ooh, I think this player needs to be replaced. And it's like, mate, like, what are you on about? There's bigger problems. It happens with Luke Shaw all the time. I'm pretty sure Shoni can back me up on this. It happens with Luke Shaw all the time, every single stream. Luke Shaw gets mentioned. Pogba gets mentioned by the pundits, by the mainstream media. Shoni was saying it the other day. The way these men slander Pogba, even when he's not playing. Pogba could wear a blue shirt on the day of the derby and it's his fault we lost. Because of people like Roy Keane. That's the people I'm talking to. I'm not going in on you. I'm not going in on Shoni specifically. I'm just asking, what is the point of all of this nonsense, giving you food for thought, you know? And I understand why you want to talk about De Gea being dropped, but like I really couldn't care, to be honest. So I don't know what else to say with regards to that. And it goes for everyone in this team, you know? Our best 11 at the moment is very clear, and everything else after that is a drop-off. McTominay was crap when he came on against Palace, according to some people. Fred was crap when he played against Chelsea. And not just against Chelsea, but when he played against Norwich in the round before that. And when he played against Spurs, he was crap. So was McTominay. Who else? Dan James, crap. Everyone else on the bench besides our starting 11 is crap. So when our starting 11 doesn't play bad, what's the point of going in on them? Because you know what's coming in is worse. I don't know. Am I the only one who feels this way?
Nah, yeah. But at the moment, I'm feeling like we do know. We definitely know the bigger problems, but let's just focus on what we can do in the next 2 games and then we'll talk about the future of Man United. Let's try to get the best out of these 2 games.
I think the only way we lose to West Ham is if we don't play well. Like, for me, there's nothing more else to say.
Yeah, if United don't turn up, West Ham will definitely get points away from us.
Yeah, and Mason Greenwood, what do you think of Mason Greenwood's recent performances? Because he's been dropping off.
I mean, he has been dropping off, but his drop-off is nowhere near as bad as Dan James still. So I'd still play Greenwood. Greenwood gives you something, you know. If he does take a shot, he threatens opposition way more than Dan James.
And I feel like I can liken this West Ham team to the teams that we thrashed at the beginning after lockdown. So I think this is a good game for him.
100%, man, 100%. But
I wouldn't like this again. Like, this would be my team. Obviously, if Luke Shaw is fit, I'd play Luke Shaw. We must Luke Shaw. But the only thing I would consider again is, like I said, I don't want to go on about it, but that's the only change I'd make is there.
By the way, Eric Bailey looks like he's recovering, and I'm not sure if he'll be back before the end of the season, but it looks like he's recovering. Where are you in Eric Bailey? Is the jury still out on him, or is that just an emotional reaction?
Nah, I don't like Eric Bailly. I really want Upperman Kano. I want Upperman Kano. That's why.
Yeah. Next season, I think, I don't know if he can be so, but for the rest of the season, we need him. And we need it because we can't go into the Europa League with just 2 centre-backs.
I mean, to me, it's this is going to sound harsh, but to me, it's the same thing. It's the same thing because Bailey's going to get injured anyways. As soon as he comes on, he's a walking red flag.
We need someone who at least has the attributes to be a centre back.
I'd rather have Fosu-Mensah playing at the back, to be honest. Like, as a centre back.
Would you guys play Fosu-Mensah instead of Wan-Bissaka with the last few games?
No, I think it's too late for that. Like, here's my reasoning behind why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to play our strongest 11 till the end of the season. You come back, you play Spurs, you draw. Okay, cool. Then you go, what was our next game against after Spurs? Sheffield United, right? And we won 3-0.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay, Sheffield United.
Yeah, we went on that run where we broke the record.
Okay, yeah, and then we play Brighton. We beat them 3-0. Okay, cool. We play Bournemouth. We go 1-0 down. We still beat them. Cool. Then we play Villa, a team that has nothing to offer, that has one semi-decent player on the field, if that, on his day, because even he was quiet. Why did you not rest Aaron Wan-Bissaka in that game? Why do you need your best right back in that game? And it goes back to squad depth. If Lingard, if Mata, if Pereira, if Fosu-Mensah, if Fred, if McTominay, if Romero, if... Who else am I missing? If Eric Bailly, whoever else I'm missing. If those players are not going to play against a team that is 17th in the Premier League, why do they deserve to play against West Ham and Leicester will 1 point away from the top?
But I also wouldn't have played them, to be honest. because I think they would have lost, to be honest.
In the game against Villa?
I don't trust them that much.
No, no, that's a valid reason. So that proves my point. We should not play them now. I'm not trying to say they should have started in those games. I'm saying if they didn't start in those games, they definitely shouldn't start now.
Yeah.
Let me make that clear. Like that. Let me rephrase what I'm trying to say, because I know I might be confusing some people. If our bench is not good enough to play against the teams that are at the bottom of the league, then why the hell should they play against West Ham and Leicester City? So for me, no. Fosu-Mensah should not play. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has to play till the end of the season. Tough. Harry Maguire's got a bloody hip injury. Okay, Captain England. Tough. If your injury was that bad, why are you playing? You know, so clearly you're fine enough to at least run your body on the field. Tough. Suck it up, bro. Just 2 more games, bro. And then we can chill for the Europa League. And no, like for me, it's a hard no.
Yeah,
a hell no, actually.
Ole has definitely overrun these players. And that definitely, maybe not a huge part, but it definitely played a part against Chelsea, especially because they had way more rest than we did. Which is not an excuse, but he should have been resting that more throughout the season.
Look, I don't blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, fam. If my job was on the line, I wouldn't play Lingard, fam. That's, I mean, or maybe not Lingard, because the irony is he did play Lingard even when his job was on the line. Listen, I wouldn't play Fosu-Mensah at right back if my job was on the line. Let me put it that way. I don't blame him, in hindsight. I don't blame him. Because Ole could have taken the piss. He could have played our weakest team against Chelsea.
Yeah,
and
I would have taken it.
Edward would have been there staring down.
Yeah, I mean, it would have still stared down and looked how shit we are. So hopefully that was a sign.
Hopefully it was, but like it doesn't mean anything because we lost with a strong team, which is like it doesn't help. It doesn't mean anything. I think if we had played our second team, it would have showed the drop off. But that's stupid. You can't be a manager of a manager of a football club where there's hundreds of thousands of euros or pounds on the line, and you decide to play a weaker team in a tournament that actually matters for the financial stability of a club just to prove a point. That's idiotic. Like, get that out your head if you think you're going to be a football manager.
I would have understood if we did it with the other games that we have.
Yeah, in the other games, yeah, but not in the semi-final. If it was round 4 of the FA Cup, yeah.
No, I mean, like, I would have understood. I would have been completely okay if we had a crap team.
You as a Manchester United fan would have been okay. You as a Manchester United fan would have been okay. But as a board member, you can't be serious, my guy. If your CEO walks in the morning and he's like, listen, I put my weakest sales team out because, you know, this semester we're not really bothered about the sale. We could have made you money, but I decided to take the piss just to prove a point. Sorry.
The thing is, though,
to
get the Champions League spot is way more beneficial financially than the FA Cup, even winning the FA Cup.
No, I get that, but we're not going to miss out on top 4 because we played a strong team against Chelsea. That's not going to happen.
I think it decreases your chances because these teams they're burning out.
It does decrease your chances, but we're not going to miss out on top 4.
Days to rest.
Yeah, but we're not okay. When we beat West Ham, I'll come back. What minute?
No, we can. But I'm just saying that was an extra day to increase your chances.
I get that.
If you do perform poorly,
I'm not disagreeing.
Players can't run. Then
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. I am saying, as a manager of a football club in the semi-final of a major competition, whatever your opinion is of the FA Cup, it is the biggest domestic cup bar the league. In the semi-final at Wembley, when your board is watching and your directors are watching, to pick a weaker team that is clearly not good enough just to prove a point is childish and immature. Not even Klopp would do that in a semi-final. Maybe earlier on in the tournament, and if they get knocked out, so be it. But not in a semi-final, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. And we're not going to miss out on top 4 just because we played half of our strongest team against Chelsea. That's not going to happen. Like, if we miss out on top 4, it's because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't rested players the whole season. That 90 minutes is not going to impact our season that much. It's going to be the whole.
Yeah, look, to prove a point, I agree with you 100%. But it would have made a slight difference, and I wouldn't have mind. And like I said,
you as a football fan,
effectively, like who did it? Man City did it a few years ago when they're going to play the semi-final of the Champions League. They played a crap team in the FA Cup because. That's the semi-final of the Champions League. We're not talking about the semi-final of the Champions League. We're talking about making top 4 when all we need is 2 draws. They're completely different things. It's just as important.
No, yes, to some people it's just as important, but I'm trying to get you to understand the point, the perspective of the board. The board doesn't think the way you do, Rita. The board doesn't think the way you do. They're worried about the financial implications and how good their team looks in the newspapers on Monday morning. Like, that's what you're not understanding. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. As a football fan, I would have been fine with it as well.
I can't prove it, but I just feel like, and obviously it's just a feeling, I feel like if we just had communicated properly, they wouldn't have minded.
Maybe they wouldn't have.
Because that top four is probably 4 times worth as much as the FA Cup win.
But we're not going to lose top 4 because we played a strong team in the FA Cup. We're going to lose top 4 because we played a strong team in games like against Villa.
That's a valid point. I think the only point Sean is making is that when Ole communicated it, that's how he say it's worth 50 million, so it's way more worth than the FA Cup.
But that's irrelevant because we wouldn't have lost the Champions League spot because of the FA Cup anyways. Like, you guys are missing the point. We aren't losing top 4 because of 90 minutes at Wembley. We were going to play that 90 minutes no matter what. No matter what, we had to play that 90 minutes. It's irrelevant
on the bigger picture. Shini's saying when he was communicating it with the board.
What? I don't get it. I don't get what you're trying to say.
Bigger picture, yes, it's not that big a deal. But when Ole is going to Ed Woodward and saying the Champions League is more important than the FA Cup, he'll say this is a more important spot and it's worth way more money. So the only point, or maybe me, I don't know, Shane, the only point I was making is that's how Ole would have gone about it when you're communicating with the board.
Yeah, but he didn't have to go about it. You know why he didn't have to go about it? Because we weren't going to lose the spot because we played a strong team in the semi-final. We were never going to lose that spot, so he never had to communicate that to the board. What are you on about? He didn't need to say that to the board because he wanted to win the match against Chelsea, and he understood that even if we lost, it would not have made a difference to our top 4 standings. Like, what are you on about?
You can't know that for a fact that Ole thought like that. Yes,
I don't know that Ole thought that for a fact, but I know for a fact that it won't make a difference to top 4. And a week from now, when we are in the top 4, I'll come back to this podcast and say we are wasting the people who are listening to this podcast time and my time.
We're playing more minutes.
It's not going to make that big of a difference in the grander scheme of things. We played a strong team against Villa. How is that not at scrutiny versus playing a strong team against Chelsea in the semi-final of a major trophy? Surely that has more of an impact.
That Villa game was worth more than this FA Cup game. You needed those points.
Yeah, but Villa's a crap team. Chelsea are actually a good team. So playing a stronger team against Villa is nowhere near as justifiable as playing a strong team against Chelsea. We could have beaten Villa with our second team. You know how I know? Because we've beaten relegation teams and I don't care what you think. But to tell me that playing a weaker team against Chelsea makes more sense than to play a weaker team against a team that's 17th, you must be smoking a fucking pint, bro. You must be smoking pot blood. Because we beat Norwich 4-0 with our weakest team, with a weaker team than we had in January. Like, you must be taking the piss.
I think the perspective we're taking is the timing. We're 2 days away from a game against West
Ham. I give up, guys. You tell me if I'm crazy in the comments down below. I give up. Apparently, I don't know what I'm talking about. I give up. Wow. Don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe.
Score prediction.
What is your score prediction? I don't even care at this point.
If United turn up, I have full faith they'll smash them. But if they don't turn up, 2-2 draw.
Yeah, same thing Shini said, but I think they will. I think they will try not to prove a point, but they'll try react to the Chelsea game. So 3-1 United.
Now, guys, I think Sean is right. I think because we played our strongest team in the FA Cup, that critical decision is going to cost us top 4, and we might lose 3-0 to West Ham. That's what I'm predicting, guys. Yeah, we're going to concede 3 goals for the first time in a long time because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer done fucked up at Wembley. See you in the next one.